Okay, in my previous video I showed you how to make Word really picky, and I told you it's going to frustrate you. But it's a good learning experience. You get better and better at writing, and your documents are cleaner, which means the person reading them doesn't have to struggle. In this video, I want to talk about this document that I really quickly showed you at the end of the last video. I'm going to go through it a little bit more slowly, and I'm going to point out that I don't see any red or green squigglies. So Word is saying there are no spelling errors and there are no serious grammar problems. Now, I should warn you, that doesn't mean that Word has found every single thing that you might need to adjust. It's just saying, based on what Word can do, everything looks fine. So look at the first paragraph, no red or green squigglies. Looking at the second paragraph, no red or green squigglies. And then finally, looking at the third paragraph, which is a bit longer, no red or green squigglies. So Word thinks everything's fine. And it's a good idea to look at your works cited to make sure you didn't type anything in wrong there. But what I'm going to do is focus on the document, the text of the document. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the review ribbon, and I'm going to ask Word to do a spelling and grammar check, even though I've got Word set up to automatically show those errors. And so I'm going to have spelling and grammar tested. So I'm going to click the spelling and grammar button. And Word says, oh, everything, we're done checking the spelling and grammar. It didn't report any problems, so everything should be okay, right? No, wrong. Word is also telling me that I have some text marked do not check spelling or grammar, which means that block of text or blocks of text were skipped. Really bad idea. If you tell Word not to check spelling and grammar, you might make errors and they can slip through until someone else is looking at your document and they say, look at this. What lousy spelling, what lousy grammar. So, we need to fix this. Now, the one thing that really frustrates me is Word sets these blocks of text to not check for spelling and grammar errors automatically. So as I'm working on a document, when I do spelling and grammar checks, if I select an option, Word will say, well, from now on I'm not going to check that section. So I have to tell Word how to check everything. And that's relatively easy to do. Oh, and by the way, I had readability statistics set to display. Here they are. This one's at a 12.3 grade level. That'd probably be okay for someone in academics at the university graduate level. Okay. So what I want to do is tell Word to check everything. And there are a few ways to do the first step. I'm going to show you the easiest way for me. I'm going to move the mouse over to the margin, and you can see how the arrow changes. Watch what happens. It goes from the little insert thing to an arrow. Once I've got an arrow displayed, I'm going to hold the Control key down. That's the CTRL key. And I'm going to hit the letter A. And then I'm going to release both of those keys. And you'll see that Word automatically selected the entire document. This is where you don't want to accidentally hit a key, because then your entire document gets replaced by whatever letter you touched. So what I want to do is quickly go up to the language button here in the review ribbon, and I'm going to click on that button, and I'm going to select Set Proofing Language. And typically English is the default. It should be for anything you're doing in the HCD programs. But I'm going to click it just to make sure that it's blue like it is right now. So for example, if it had been on some other setting for some reason, it's a good idea to come up here and click English. I'm going to also look at this do not check spelling or grammar checkbox. I'm going to click it once. Now it's checked. That's not the setting I want. So I'm going to click it again. Third thing, most of the time by default, detect language automatically is selected. I'm going to turn that off because I want Word to know that I'm only going to be using the US English as my testing. And then I'm going to click Set as Default. And that really only takes care of the Detect Language Automatically setting, which was already off. And it's going to say, yep, you're going to change the default language to English US. And it's also going to tell me that that updates the standard template used by Word. That's fine. So I'm going to say yes. Now I need to click OK to make sure that my Do Not Check Spelling or Grammar selection is recognized by Word. And so I did that. And right away you might notice some green squigglies down here. We'll talk about that in the next video.